European energy markets face historic shift as Western alliances evolve. In a dramatic reshaping of global energy partnerships, the European Union is rapidly pivoting away from its long-standing reliance on Russian energy imports. Before recent geopolitical upheavals, Russia dominated EU energy supplies, providing 40% of natural gas imports, with Germany particularly dependent at 55%. Following Russia's military actions in the northern Black Sea region in 2022, the European energy landscape underwent a seismic shift. The EU's subsequent sanctions against Moscow and pledge to eliminate Russian fossil fuel dependency by 2027 has triggered an urgent search for alternative suppliers. We're witnessing the most significant reorganization of European energy markets in decades, says energy analyst Michael Robertson. The EU is essentially rebuilding its entire energy infrastructure. The United States initially emerged as a primary alternative, with American LNG exports to Europe surging to over 50% of total U.S. production by 2023. However, this partnership faces challenges, particularly given the uncertainties during the Trump administration's approach to international relations. Canada has positioned itself as a stable, long-term energy partner for Europe. The Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement has already boosted EU-Canada trade by 60%, creating a foundation for expanded energy cooperation. Canadian Energy Minister Jonathan Wilkinson's recent proposal for an energy and critical mineral alliance comes at a crucial time. With vast natural gas reserves and political stability, Canada offers what European markets need: reliability and predictability. This partnership could prove mutually beneficial, as Canada seeks to diversify its export markets beyond the United States. Recent tensions, including proposed U.S. tariffs of 25% on Canadian goods and a 10% tax on oil exports, have accelerated Ottawa's search for new trading partners. As these relationships evolve, the global energy market continues its transformation, with new partnerships emerging from geopolitical challenges. In a significant shift reshaping global energy markets, Canada is actively pursuing plans to reduce its U.S. trade dependence while strengthening ties with Europe and Asia. This strategic pivot comes as the European Union seeks to distance itself from Russian energy sources following the Black Sea crisis. The Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, CETA, between Canada and the EU has shown remarkable success, with bilateral trade reaching €77 billion in 2022, a 66% increase from pre-agreement levels. Canadian merchandise exports to the EU hit $32.5 billion in 2021, up 46.4% since 2016. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government is exploring direct liquefied natural gas exports to Europe, as European nations seek alternatives to Russian energy supplies amid geopolitical tensions. Canada's diversification strategy gains importance following recent U.S. trade measures. In February 2025, President Trump's administration imposed new tariffs on Canadian goods, citing national security concerns. Currently, about 90% of Canada's crude oil exports, valued at $143 billion, go to the United States. However, Canada aims to increase non-U.S. exports by 50% by 2025, showing promising results in Asian markets. The Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion has created new opportunities, with Canadian crude exports to China reaching 240,000 barrels per day in October 2024. Between June and October 2024, China maintained an average import of 150,000 barrels per day via Canada's Pacific coast. Japan has emerged as a key partner, with growing LNG demand creating new opportunities for Canadian energy exports. These developments signal Canada's successful transition toward a more balanced global trade portfolio, reducing U.S. market dependence while building international partnerships. In a significant shift in North American energy dynamics, Canada is actively pursuing diversification of its natural gas export markets, with particular attention turning to Asian opportunities and a controversial Quebec LNG project. Recent projections indicate Japanese demand for liquefied natural gas could surge by over 10% to approximately 74 million metric tons by 2040. Presenting a crucial opportunity for Canadian exports. Alberta's Environment Minister Rebecca Schultz has highlighted Japan as a key strategic partner, given recent trade tensions with the United States. The spotlight has returned to the Energy Saguenay project, a $7.2 billion U.S. initiative previously shelved but now gaining renewed attention. This project, designed to export 11 million tons of LNG annually, represents a potential game-changer in Canada's energy export landscape. Social acceptability is paramount, states Quebec's Economy Minister Christine Frette, addressing the project's potential revival. The facility's unique selling point lies in its proposed hydroelectric power source, positioning it as one of the world's first large-scale reduced carbon footprint LNG plants. However, environmental challenges persist. The project faces scrutiny over its impact on the endangered St. Lawrence estuary beluga whale population, currently numbering around 900 and declining annually by 1%. The proposed 300 annual LNG tanker movements through the Saguenay Fjord raise ecological concerns. The project's environmental impact remains controversial. Life cycle emissions estimates suggest the facility could generate approximately 50 million tons of CO2 equivalent annually over 25 years, comparable to emissions from 15 million cars. This carbon footprint has sparked debate about alignment with Canada's climate commitments. The project's fate hangs in the balance as officials weigh economic opportunities against environmental responsibilities, particularly as global energy markets reshape following recent geopolitical events and the shift away from Russian energy sources. In a significant shift reshaping North American energy dynamics, Canada is reducing its dependence on the U.S. market, marking a historic change in continental trade relations. This strategic pivot could drastically impact U.S. energy security and prices. Recent data shows Canada's natural gas exports to the U.S., which peaked at 3.78 trillion cubic feet in 2002, declined to 2.99 trillion cubic feet by 2022. While this represents 99% of U.S. natural gas imports, Canada is pursuing alternative markets. The LNG Canada project in Kitimat, British Columbia, leads this transformation. Set to launch in mid-2025, Phase 1 will export 1.8 billion cubic feet daily, with potential doubling in Phase 2. This initiative targets European markets, particularly since the Russia-Ukraine conflict disrupted traditional energy flows. Canada's Trans Mountain pipeline expansion has tripled crude oil flow to the Pacific coast, reaching 890,000 barrels daily. Asian markets, especially South Korea and Japan, are securing Canadian crude supplies, potentially leaving U.S. refineries searching for alternatives. Trade tensions have complicated this landscape. The USMCA agreement faces challenges from tariffs and retaliatory measures. The automotive sector has been particularly vulnerable as components crossing borders face increased costs. The effects are significant. U.S. consumers may face higher energy prices, while industries dependent on natural gas could see production costs surge. This realignment reflects broader geopolitical changes, as Canada positions itself for growing global energy demands while reducing U.S. market exposure. For American policymakers, this transformation presents a challenge, balancing domestic energy security with maintaining strong trade relationships in a competitive global market. Good day, patriots and fellow news enthusiasts. Today, we'll explore a critical situation affecting American security and prosperity. China has played their ace card in the ongoing economic chess match with the United States. Beijing has implemented export restrictions on gallium and germanium, materials crucial for our nation's future. Without them, we can't build the semiconductors that power everything from smartphones to our military's defense systems. This isn't just another trade spat. China is deliberately targeting our high-tech industries and defense sector, applying pressure where it hurts most. It's a calculated move that comes as North American trade relations are under strain. While we're having disagreements with Canada and Mexico over tariffs and trade terms, China is watching and ready to step into any gaps in our supply chains. It's like when your neighbors argue about their fence, and suddenly the developer shows up with plans for both properties. The timing is critical. As global tensions increase, particularly in the northern Black Sea area, where conflict reshapes international alliances, China makes this move to squeeze our technology sector. Experts are calling for urgent diplomatic action. We need to mend fences with our North American partners before China can exploit these divisions. The solution requires immediate attention. Renegotiate tariffs, address concerns, and present a united front. What's at stake? Our economic security and technological independence. Without swift action, we face disrupted supply chains, spooked investors, and slower economic growth across North America. Remember, in today's world, we can't let trade disputes weaken our position against strategic competitors. The clock is ticking, and the time for action is now. Stay informed, stay engaged, and keep supporting independent news coverage. This is your trusted news source, signing off.